A really great project to have is some kind of like a booking system. What if two people are at the same point of time trying to book the last final resource? Let's say there is a flight. Try to have a more microservice based architecture where we can make sure that the microservices are intercommunicating with RPC. When somebody uploads a movie on Netflix, what actually happens behind the scenes. This particular project will actually help you understand how you can maintain containers, how you can easily integrate some interesting text editors, send emails all together, and so on. So there is a lot of step-by-step procedures in the hiring process as well, because a lot of companies now expect that you know basic AI engineering out of the box if you're applying for a particular company. Having interesting projects in your resume is kind of like very important to get shortlisted whenever you apply for any company altogether. These projects that you have mentioned in your resume actually showcases that whatever skills you have mentioned or whatever experiences you have mentioned, then these projects help them to actually validate. Let's say, for example, if you write Node.js as a skill, then having some good Node.js projects actually validates the fact that yes, you have spent time with Node.js and actually try to implement interesting things on top of that. But a lot of people actually face the problem that they just try to make some very simple and regular projects, like some simple CRUD apps altogether. In this particular video, I'm going to talk about some interesting projects that you can actually try to make in order to make sure that your resume gets elevated and you have some really nice and engineering driven projects in your portfolio. Interestingly, majority of these projects that I'm going to talk about in this video, we are already covering in our Lambda 5.0 advanced backend development cohort. So do check that out in the description section below. And without any further ado, let's just start. But before starting the video, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing, because we are going to put some really awesome content coming up ahead. Also, if you're practicing data structures and algorithms for your upcoming interviews, then there is a separate channel with Algocamp where we have put a lot of interesting videos around data structures and algorithms. So before moving forward in the video, I would like to tell you about the brand new offering of Algocamp, which is the Lambda 5.0 course. So this is the 5th iteration of the flagship advanced backend development course with Node.js, but this time it's bigger and better. This time Algocamp has introduced a lot of new projects. The whole ecosystem is going to be more AI powered. There are projects including Lovable Clone, your own AI fitness tracker, own AI interview planner and interview prep, I would say, tool. There is some deep engineering concepts around distributed transaction, using which you're going to make a payment system or a payment wallet system altogether. There's going to be a workflow manager project. You're going to try to understand how exactly you can use the concepts of, let's say, CDC in order to implement different projects. A lot of deep technical projects and deep technical understanding you are going to get. This particular course is going to focus on making sure that you understand the system architectures and deep system concept that a lot of senior engineers are always involved with, and try to make projects on top of that. You are going to see actual scaling strategies, replication strategies, how you can make sure that your system is fault tolerant, and concepts around, let's say, Kafka, concept around Redis and whatnot. There is so many different projects that are actually added, including a WhatsApp system, something like a Netflix-like system, a Twitch-like system, a lot of AI-powered tools. We are going to actually make something like Lovable Clone and whatnot. Do check out the link in the description section below. Get the idea about all the projects that you are going to get and build. This is something that will take you from an absolutely beginner level backend developer to a very advanced level backend engineer altogether. We have received such great testimonies from the last set of batches, and people are actually loving what we have already built, but this time we have made sure that this is bigger and better. So do check out the link in the description section below and use this coupon code to get massive discounts on the current price. And now let's go back to the video. Now, in order to actually showcase the fact that you know basic engineering aspects of backend engineering, a really great project to have is some kind of like a booking system. Now, majority of the people make a booking system like, let's say, a hotel booking system like Airbnb, or a flight booking system like, let's say, GoIbibo, etc. But the problem is, with majority of those projects, people try to just make CRUD applications. In my opinion, what you should try to do is, in booking system, try to find some interesting engineering problems. For example, problems around concurrency. That what if two people are at the same point of time trying to book the last final resource? Let's say there is a flight, there is a final one seat left in the flight, and more than one person is trying to actually book that flight. How do you handle it? How do you handle concurrency with respect to pessimistic locking and optimistic locking, right? Understand the concepts of pessimistic and optimistic locking and try to implement them yourself. Apart from that, how you can avoid double booking, like let's say, for example, somebody by mistake clicks the book button twice, then how you can actually avoid the fact that people should not be doing double booking by paying the amount 2 times, right? So how you can actually solve these kind of problems. Apart from that, interesting data modeling, that how you can actually prepare the database and the database architecture for such complex applications altogether. How you can actually, let's say, put dynamic pricing. A lot of times in a lot of booking applications like hotel and flights, there is some concept of dynamic, I would say, pricing coming up ahead, and so on. And in fact, because there are so many moving pieces, you can already figure out the fact that some part of a booking system is generally read heavy, some part of the booking system is generally write heavy. So maybe try to implement things with respect to interesting design patterns around CQRS, or let's say try to have a more microservice based architecture where you can make sure that the microservices are intercommunicating with RPC based, I would say, approaches like gRPC or thrift. These different problems and these different technologies, if you will add in a booking system, this will actually elevate the overall project a lot. Instead of considering this as a beginner level project, people will definitely consider this as a more intermediary project, and this is a good starting point, I believe, if you are learning backend engineering for the first time altogether. Now, another great project to actually have is kind of like a Netflix like movie streaming system, but more focused on the admin side. Like for example, when somebody uploads a movie on Netflix, what actually happens behind the scenes, how exactly movie is processed, right? Apart from that, when the movie is processed, then how actually people see it, because let's say if you have seen Netflix, then if your internet connection drops down, then the quality of the movie automatically drops down. That means that there should be some pre-processing going on behind the scenes so that a very high quality movie uploaded get pre-processed in multiple different lower quality, I would say, footages, and then you need to figure out what protocol actually goes on behind the scenes in order to make sure that with different I would say internet connection, different type of a movie packet is technically picked. This is a very interesting project to explore, and one of the finest solution here is HLS based streamings. So this is something that will be definitely considered as an intermediary to a more advanced project. I would highly recommend you to understand the system design of applications like YouTube and Netflix, and then try to actually implement it end to end to have a great project in your portfolio. Another interesting project to start with in terms of beginner to intermediate level is to have a code evaluation system like LeetCode, Codeforces, etc. In this, you can try to explore that how you can actually spin up containers in order to ensure that you are able to run the code with different languages. Where exactly you can store test cases. A great solution would be to have some kind of like a blob storage like Azure Blob Storage or Amazon S3, and then try to pick up those test cases, try to pass those test cases in the code, run those code in your I would say Docker container, evaluate the test cases and stream some output, and also try to explore things around leaderboard aspect of the things. This particular project will actually help you understand how you can maintain containers, spin up new containers, how you can maintain a complex asynchronous pipeline of processing a lot of codes altogether, right? Let's say if you have a lot of incoming code evaluation requests coming up, how you can asynchronously process them, how you can set up a set of workers which are going to pick up the code requests one by one and process them all together. In the leaderboard aspect of the thing, you can try to explore things like Redis ordered set, so that you can actually, based on the solution and the submission scores, you can actually prepare a more real-time leaderboard. This is also a very interesting project to explore, and interestingly, a good initial part of this project is already uploaded on my YouTube channel, so do check it out altogether. Now, another very interesting project that I will categorize in the scope of intermediate to advanced level project is to have a real-time text editor like Google Docs. Now, internally, the technology behind Google Docs is pinned up upon operational transformation and CRDT, which is conflict-free replication data type. Try to understand what is CRDT, how many CRDTs are there, how exactly a very specific type of CRDT is different from operational transformation, how exactly you can maintain a full stack project where you might need to have a central server for operational transformation, or maybe you can try to have something else for CRDT. This actually helps you understand some deep engineering concepts. This will actually help you also get some prerequisite around how exactly conflicts during writes are handled in different scenarios. I would highly recommend you guys to explore the alternatives of CRDT, like what other system actually explores. Like, say, let's say if you're using something like Cassandra uses last write wins instead of exploring things like CRDT. Then what are the CRDT solutions available, how you can use a CRDT to implement something like Google Docs. This is going to be a very interesting project, and it will also help you understand some front-end aspect of things like how you can easily integrate some interesting text editors which works on top of CRDT. Now, when you will start exploring the concepts of distributed systems, you will understand that distributed systems are actually hard to build. There are a lot of interesting engineering problems that actually come while building distributed systems. One of the great engineering problems to actually explore and try your hands on is distributed transaction. For that, you can actually try to make kind of like a payment wallet or a payment system where you have a sharded, let's say, database where at least for the demonstration purpose, you can try to explore that one user is present in one shard, another user is present in another shard, and now you have to actually achieve something like a distributed transactions. What are the solutions available for distributed transactions? What is two-phase commit? What is Saga? What is orchestration Saga? What is choreography Saga? And then based on that, you can try to actually explore. And this project is going to actually help you set up your own sharded environment and sharded database, because a lot of people just read that, okay, for system design interviews, they just read that you have to shard a database. But how do you shard a database? How exactly that database connection actually works? In an actual project, how you'll be able to connect to a sharded database? All of these things are going to actually help you understand the deeper and engineering concepts of these good, interesting system design problems. Now, I believe everybody should try to make some interesting set of projects using some sense or some level of workflow related systems like ingest or temporal. Maybe you can try to make kind of like a Calendly like application, because let's say if you want to book a time period with somebody, then there is a lot of workflows that goes on behind the scenes. First of all, it is going to check whether the person is available at that time or not. And then let's say it has to, let's say, schedule a Google Calendar invite for you. It has to schedule a Google Meet for that particular session, send emails altogether, and so on. So there is a lot of step-by-step procedures, which can be a good mix of a workflow-based system clubbed with choreography-related Saga. So I believe making systems like these, like for example Calendly or TopMate, is going to be definitely a great try, and I would keep this as an intermediate project altogether. Now, I believe in most of the software ecosystem, some level of AI integrations have started coming into the picture. If you were working on some project, there is a good chance that your product manager might have already asked you to integrate some interesting AI related features. And for that, you need to have some context of basic AI engineering. So try to understand the concept of LLMs, try to understand how you can build agents using LangGraph, right, LangChain, what is the concept of RAG, vector databases, etc. And then using that, you can try to make some interesting projects. Like for example, you can try to make a live interviewing application where people can interact with an LLM using, let's say, voice, and try to give a mock interview altogether. Apart from that, you can kind of like make a fitness tracker kind of like an application. You can try to make your own lovable clone where you can actually give a prompt, and then there will be a couple of agents who are going to actually spin up a complete application for you altogether. These AI driven projects, I believe, will keep you updated with the current industry standard and actually help you make your space in the hiring process as well, because a lot of companies now expect that you know basic AI engineering out of the box if you're applying for a particular company. These projects I would definitely keep in the intermediary category altogether. Now, the next set of projects I believe should be somewhere around, let's say, your integration with WebSockets. I would say try to make an end-to-end chat application with support of group chats, one-on-one chat, or let's say you can try to make an end-to-end interviewing application where people can actually chat with their interviewer. Let's say have some video calling support, let's say using something like WebRTC and so on. These projects are going to actually help you understand the end-to-end delivery of a project. It will be more wholesome to have a full stack experience like the front end and the back end altogether. This is a great addition to actually have. And if you are exploring, let's say WebSocket driven advanced project, then making something like a Replit or a code sandbox like Clone, where people can actually come to your web browser and you have a complete web browser given ID. People can actually let's say make React.js app, Node.js apps, etc., and interact with the corresponding backend, just like how an end-to-end Replit works. Interestingly, on my YouTube channel, I have a complete series on how you can make your own Replit, so do check it out. And these set of projects around, let's say specifically around Replit, would be something that I would keep in the advanced category. Now, apart from all of these, there are some more interesting set of projects that you can try to build, right? For example, you can try to build a project where you can integrate technologies like Elasticsearch, which can actually help you to do a full text search altogether. This can be a small Quora-like application where you can do some interesting data modeling and then also integrate these searching capabilities. Apart from that, I believe some interesting projects would be to try to make a live streaming application. Let's say people can actually use your app to connect to OBS and then do a live streaming altogether on your platform, just like how YouTube live streaming works, right? You can try to make some chess related applications where you have a front end where you can actually have two-player game playing chess. You can try to integrate some already available open source chess engines. That would be a great addition to have in your projects. And like similar kind of like, I believe every project that you're trying should have some kind of like an engineering problem to solve, some kind of like an engineering initiative that you are understanding that, okay, how deep system architecture for these specific problems are built. Of course, if you're working somewhere, you will be focusing on one very specific type of a problem, but these personal projects are going to help you explore wider variety of problems, and when you're learning, let's say, things like system design, these projects will actually help you implement those actually in real time end to end. So I hope this overall video was useful for you. If you feel that there should be some more interesting projects, or maybe you might have made some interesting projects, do let me know in the comment section below. I would be happy to read and reply to all of them. And do let us know what other kind of videos you would like to see us making on this particular channel. If you have not yet subscribed, do consider subscribing, because we are going to put some really awesome content coming up ahead. So let's just wrap this particular video, and we'll meet soon in the next set of videos. Till then, take care. Bye bye. I'm Sanket Singh, signing off.